Good morning. Hello. Hello. Good evening. Good whatever time you're listening to this. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Unapologetically Wild with Katie Sontag, which is moi. Very excited to have you here and be in your ears today. Today, I am actually bringing something in that I had a beautiful client of mine talk to me about. And I think this is really, really big, and I didn't realize how much this wasn't really getting talked about because I follow people that talk about it and I've always thought it, but maybe just not expressed it fully. And it's this whole masculine and feminine piece, right? So, so many people are talking about these energies and the masculine and the feminine and like all of the things that encompass those two parts of you as a person, because everybody has that and, obviously in relationship and how that looks. Now, I want to speak to the masculine and the feminine energies in you as a person, right? Because we all have masculine and feminine energy. So it doesn't matter if you are male, female, or any other, you identify any other way, you will have a masculine and a feminine energy and way of holding you as a whole being, right? And as I love to talk about on this podcast, you are a whole being, right? So it's really important to honor that and to honor what each of these energies brings to you as a person. So, what I want to talk into is first an analogy, which I was given by a coach that I had ages ago. And she had a beautiful analogy for this, and I love using it because it just to me, it makes a lot of sense. There's probably 1,000 other analogies out there, and I would love for you to share if you have some of your own. But I wanna share this one because it just, to me, embodies everything that is the masculine and the feminine. So, I wanna start with taking you on a little journey of a visual, right? So, I want you to think about a river. And I want you to think about the different parts of a river, right? So when you look at a river, so imagine you can even close your eyes. Obviously, not if you're driving. Warning there, please do not do that. But if you'd like to, and you are a visual learner, and this does help, I would love for you to close your eyes and allow yourself to be with somewhere. Maybe it could be a forest, maybe it could be somewhere you've been before, maybe it's just a beautiful creation in your mind where there is a beautiful river. Now, when we talk about the river, I want to talk about the structure. So there will be a riverbank, there will be, this beautiful structure that holds everything together, right? It's like the dirt, the mud, all the like sticks and twigs and, different pieces, the rocks and maybe the moss and whatever you're imagining is all perfect, right? But it's the structure that holds the water. And why I want to talk about this is because the structure is the masculine and it is having structure in your life. It is also about the fact that it's protecting everything that's inside, like the water, the animals, all of the things. And it's also providing nourishment, right? Because it's literally got, different things that's, will stick to the sides that will nourish it. Like by holding it all together, it is nourishing this beautiful stream of water, which is moving in whatever direction it needs to. It's guiding it, it's allowing it to feel supported, it's, giving it structure to know where to go so it doesn't just fly everywhere. Because you imagine you didn't have a beautiful riverbed, the water would just fucking go everywhere, right? It's a flood then. That's what it becomes, an absolute flood. So that's the masculine. That's how I see and I view the masculine, right? It's all about the structure. It's all about, getting things done. It's about, the checklist, all of these things that we do to keep us on the straight and narrow to the thing that we're going towards. And then we get the feminine. And this was the part that when I was talking to my beautiful, beautiful client, she was like, please explain to me the feminine, right? And I think what's happened here is the feminine has become it's soft and it's what's another beautiful word that everyone keeps using at the moment? It's like, flow and all of these beautiful soft words. And Yes, it is. And though, let me explain to you through this analogy how there is so much more to the feminine that we're not really acknowledging. So you've got your structure, you've got your riverbed, right? That's your masculine. And then the water inside is the feminine. Okay. So let's think about this. When she is chill, like as in flow, and she's just like the water's flowing down, she's also being nourished by the structure. She's also nourishing and holding and creating life, right? Because you think the fish, they feed off, different things and algae and all the other stuff that's growing, and it's also supported by the masculine, right? Provided for. And they all they are also she's flowing and allowing, the rocks to be smooth and creating and holding life and allowing it to flow and the water to flow and be as it's meant to, right? So it is a really beautiful, beautiful thing when you're in flow in your feminine and you are open to receiving because she's, open to allowing, the beautiful nature to come in. She's like the water, the rain, all of these beautiful things. She's receiving a lot from giving as well. So it's a really beautiful energy. And though, the part that I think is getting a bit lost when it comes to the feminine is also the feminine is chaotic, right? So you think when it rains really heavy and the water's like gushing down, like, okay, like it's going crazy down the river, right? And it's rushing so fast and it's missing all the things and it's like, getting wilder and wilder and wilder, crazier and crazier and crazier, and everything's trying to hold on and they're like, what the fuck is going on, right? That's the feminine as well. She's allowed to be crazy and wild and free, right? She's allowed to allow herself to go a little bit off center and do things that, maybe she may have never done before and have power and be strong in her feminine, right? She is a strong being who knows exactly what she wants, right? And she gets to be loud and passionate and free and wild and do all of these things. And she can be chaotic. A beautiful example, actually, which I'll give you from my own life, was probably yesterday. Yeah. I was having a beautiful chat with my friend, and I think this beautifully encompasses a woman when she's on her period. It's definitely a thing that is a whole different thing of emotions, right? And I was literally in 1 minute voice noting my friend laughing, crying, and then I was yawning, and then I was like, honestly, if you listen to the voice note, you'd be like, this woman has gone from 8 different, things. She's like crying, laughing, yawning, like just doing all of these random things, like screaming, getting excited, like literally just all of these things, right? That's us, women. We embody all of it. When we actually own our feminine, we get so angry sometimes that we're super blunt and super brutal, right? We say the thing that we probably weren't going to say before. This is also when we start to no longer allow ourselves to be the people pleaser and all these other things, right? And the good girl. We start to fucking say the thing, right? Say the thing. Isn't that a fun ride, right? No matter what other people think of us, we start to just be brutally honest on who we are. We start to actually allow ourselves to be chaotic, to not be perfect. This is a really big piece because there's so many women out there who are still being perfect, right? Like everything has to be exactly as it's meant to. Like I'm meant to have a perfectly clean house. And don't get me wrong, when your house is clean, you do feel better and it's decluttering of your mind. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. However, if you're not allowing your chaos and you're not allowing your power and you're not allowing yourself to be free and wild and all of the parts of the feminine and angry, because let's be real, we get to have emotions. We get to have sadness. We get to have anger. We get to have grief. We get to have shame, guilt, all of those things because we've been holding on to that. That's a lot of why we don't have all of these pieces of the feminine is because we have a lot of shame and guilt around them. And also, we don't actually sit with the fact that we can be all of these things. We can be wild and outrageous and have crazy ideas and have big dreams and all of these beautiful things. And it's totally okay. You can sit in your car and scream because you're mad at something. I do it all the time. Anger practices are massive. And this is actually another really big piece to this. I actually didn't realize how incredible the feminine is in her ability to hold power until I actually started honoring her in her grief, shame, her when she gets super oh, sorry, an abundance. When she gets super crazy in who she is, but like lets herself be completely wild, like gets angry and says the thing that maybe not everybody wants to hear, right? Because let's be real, a lot of us, when we first sort of like learn about the feminine, the good girl, all the things, we're like, okay, let's be chill. Let's not say anything that's going to disrupt the peace. Let's not say anything that's going to hurt other people. Let's cater for everyone else around us. So we then actually build up so much inside of us, like anger and resentment and just like all of these things, but we're happy to put ourselves out because that's fine. Everyone else can be okay, but it's fine if we're not. And then what happens is we build up so much that we end up attracting things that we don't want in our life because we're living this horrible, all this energy in our body, right? And all these old experiences, and we're just continuously living in this place where we're not actually truly happy or enjoy. And we start to think it's normal. We start to think our pain body is normal, right? And we start to not be aware of things that we actually want to do and things we actually want to say. And we actually don't allow ourselves to be free. Because freedom doesn't always look like not working the job. Freedom doesn't always look like, having your own business. Freedom doesn't always look like these can be ways to be free. You can be free in all of these, but that's not what it is. The depths of being free and being a woman, like an actual feminine woman with the masculine and the feminine, right? Because you need both. This is the other thing. A lot of people at the moment are getting super wrapped around the fact that the masculine is bad. There's nothing wrong with the masculine. The thing is a lot of us have gone into default of living in the masculine because that has helped us in society. And there's nothing wrong with that helping us in society. However, we get to receive more. We get to be in flow. We get to be chaotic. We get to be passionate. We get to say the things we actually want to say without feeling ridiculed. And if we get ridiculed, we just, you know what I mean? Like none of those people's comments fucking matter. I think it's quite funny. Anyone who does follow me knows I put out a post recently and I just really want to I feel like it's a very important thing to bring this in. People are always going to hate you or love you or fucking, I don't know, be indifferent about you. There's always going to be people on either side, right? This is the fun of duality, the law of duality. And you can't have the light without the dark, all of the beautiful things. So it's so interesting when I put this out and I decided to have a voice and also be very, very loud in my voice and what I was saying and actually tell everyone how amazing I am because I am. And I'm not here to apologize for that at all. And nor should you. This is what I'm getting at. It has caused hilarious comments. I actually cannot stop laughing at half of them. And also, it's been something that I don't need to reply to and something that I actually don't care to half of them I don't care to read. That some of them come up obviously in my little thing saying you've got a new comment and this is what it says. And I'm like maybe scrolling that time and then I see or I like go into my, liked things or whatever and I'm like, oh, cool comment, like whatever. And it's wild because some of them are quite funny. Some of them are horrible. Some of them are, just really lovely in the way that people have shared. And so the thing with this is that is literally the law of duality. You're going to have people that hate you, love you, feel indifferent about you, all of the things, right? That is completely their prerogative. And it also means that you get to still say the thing, right? It doesn't, as a woman, we still get to say what we want to say. It doesn't matter if they like you because guess what? It's not worth it. If they honestly have time and energy to put a comment on your post that is mean and horrible, I don't know what they're doing with their life. Like, honestly. Anyway, bless. I would send them so much love and healing, and I still do every time I see something that's not very nice. because I also would hate to think if that's how they see the world, then that's what they're putting into the world, right? So this is what I want to say about the feminine and the masculine. You're allowed to put yourself out there. Yes, you're going to receive criticism. I'm not going to lie to you. That's exactly how it's going to go. Even men receive criticism. It doesn't matter who you are. You're going to be hated. You're going to be loved. You're going to be all of the things, right? But when you allow yourself to be in your full feminine, what I have realized and what I have come to is that one, you're the only one that can create peace, love, and joy in your life. And you don't need other people for that. That's an inside job, right? It's nothing to do with anything in the external world. The way you create your external world is through your internal world. So everything is connected to you. The law of oneness, we are all one. So we are all a piece of each other, right? So when you come to the masculine and the feminine, what I want you to know is you get to embrace all of the feminine. And for men, you also get to embrace your feminine. And women, we get to embrace our masculine. We just also need to be conscious that we get both. Do you know what I mean? Like we get to have both, we get to be both, and we have both in us. So it's like when we find the shadow of them, so obviously all of them have shadow sides, and I've spoken about this before. And they are going to play out. Let's be real. We're all going to meet our shadow side of our masculine and our feminine at some point. And that's okay. We get to. And when we meet the shadow, that's when we get to alchemize it into the light and actually receive the light of that particular side. So whether you're journeying that right now, whether you're doing shadow work, allowing yourself to get into the depths of your shadow, of the masculine and the feminine, one, celebrating you because it's a really, really big deal and it's a lot to move through. And two, be adventurous with them. Both of them. Be curious. There's so much in the body that's also held, and I really want to get into this because it's beautiful when you do practices and you allow yourself to remove yourself from the old way of being, because this is something that we don't really do as humans, right? And I think what has actually really drilled this home for me recently was I started reading the book The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. And I'm only at the very beginning, guys, and I'm already having epiphanies. And what I'm getting from this is that we have so many preconceived ideas of what the masculine or feminine are like. And I've just given you my my ideas, right? And what I believe. And how I believe that we're kind of losing, or we're not fully grasping the whole parts of the masculine and the feminine. And there'll be more parts that I haven't even stepped into that you may know that I may not, or that you may believe and I may not. Like this is all the beauty of it, right? It's always learning, always growing, always understanding. And so what I want you to do is also allow yourself to go into practices where you remove all thoughts and understanding of this, because let's be real, this will grow, right? So maybe there was a part in here that you knew or you didn't know and you're like, wow, I really want to embrace her, right? Let's go into the feminine because that's what this whole thing's about. So you're like, maybe I don't know how to embrace her, or I want to embrace her because I feel like she is needed and I need her to move forward in my life. Or I just generally want to find out what she's like to step into my power. So a lot of this is held in the body. And as we know, a lot of it is about not being with the mind. So the power of now is about the fact that, and I'm only in the very beginning, guys, so please don't ruin it if you've listened to the whole book. And though, you're probably very excited if you know what's coming for me. But what I have loved about it so far is that when you detach from the mind, when you allow yourself to no longer identify with that. So, I mean, I've just told you all these things, and I'm also telling you that if this doesn't serve you or you have different preconceived ideas, that's totally okay too. And so what happens here is you can then also choose to, one, be with all that I've said. Two, release everything out of your brain that you already know about the masculine and the feminine. And decide to detach from that identity. So don't be with that in the mind, in the way of the mind. And ask your body, what does it need? What does it need to feel into the feminine, right? So what does your feminine need right now? What is your thing? And I want to make this a simple practice because obviously there's so many out there and there's so many incredible people that you could go and follow and watch. Rewilding is really great. She does an incredible practice that she just did a challenge, 3-day challenge. Really cool. And I love this because it's something that I'm so excited to venture into, and I've got things in the works that I would love to, well, I will be putting out for people to journey themselves to come into the feminine. However, I'd love to just give you a simple practice. And it's really about asking, what does the feminine need? And I also have beautiful journal prompts. I might even put them in the comments actually, for you to journal. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Just randomly thought of, because I gave them to my client the other day. Actually, message me if you want them and I'll send them through to you, because they're very specific, and I feel like the right people who want them will message me. Even if you put in the comments that you want them, let me know. You can just comment on the podcast and I will send them to you. Just put journal and I'll send them through. So, or just send me a message. So many things. Okay, I'm getting very distracted. Coming back to the practice. What we're going to do is, I just want you to allow yourself to ask, what does my feminine need in this moment? And be with the breath, be with movement, be with sound, whatever she needs. And even if you want to put on a song, you don't have to. That would probably guide you differently. But also, if you feel called to, that's very important as well. Because if she needs a certain song or something, and like particularly, like if something just pops up in your brain, that's definitely a message. And you should definitely listen to that. And allow yourself to just be with that for you can put a timer on for 5 minutes, 2 minutes. And if your mind tries to get involved and be like, am I doing it right? Is this what it needs? All the things, just let it go. You are doing exactly what you're meant to do. And when you do this practice, I just want you to allow yourself to do whatever your body needs. If you need to feel into your womb space, if you need to feel into, your power center, your solar plexus, anything, allow yourself to do that. Allow yourself to be with your feminine flow and your body. Because what you'll find is there's probably things in your body that are holding you back, or your brain is going to tell you that this is a bad idea, which is all okay and all totally normal, right? Because you're going in and you're venturing into something that maybe is very foreign and very unknown. And a lot of the time what happens is our brain tries to control that. But when you're in your sensual body and you're in the now, and you're not thinking in the future, you're not thinking in the past, you're being fully present with your body, even for a few minutes, it's a really beautiful thing to see what happens, to allow, surrender, and let go. And this could take you a couple of times to really get into it. You may even need more time. Sometimes what happens is it's like the first couple of minutes we're so in our head that we may need to do it for 10 minutes, to get past that. All of it's perfect and all of it's right for you. And it could be super flowy. It may be super intense where you're angry and screaming and thrashing your body around or jiggling and all the things, All of it is perfect. And do it in a really sacred space, a safe space. Shut the door. Do you know what I mean? Don't do it. I mean, look, if you are feeling great and safe with people around you, absolutely express yourself. I'm 100% here for you expressing yourself in front of people. What I'm saying is, if this is new and this is something that you've never done before, or you're a bit nervous to do it, then please do it in your own space where you feel comfortable and safe. And just feel into it. Maybe even you could use the themes that I've talked about. You could feel into, what does flow feel like for her? What does being passionate about something and having an opinion feel like? What does that bring up? What does allowing her to be wild and free bring up? Where she's no longer caged by any societal expectations. She's no longer caged by any other people's opinions. She just gets to be 100% who she is. Wild. I know. It's crazy. And she may need to cry. She may need to grieve a part of her. Like she may need to scream. She may need to express in flow, in breath, just like pure breathing into her, allowing her to open and, really open up in the heart space. Maybe she needs, the space to allow energy to move through her. And this is the thing with movement as well. You get to move the energy with your breath, with your movement, with your sound. These are three beautiful things that you get to use to allow her to be expressed. And that's why you can share it with others or you can do it by yourself. This is where you get to express yourself however that serves you, right? And I mean, if you have longer, take time. Don't squish it into 2 minutes. However, I do understand that not everyone has time. So also allow yourself to be able to use the time you have. And let her be free. Let her allow herself to be fully expressed and fully wild and free and excited and oh my gosh, and joy. Like, think of the joy and the happiness that she could have from all of the allowance of every part of who she is. Men, you can do this with the masculine as well. And women, you can do this with the masculine. Everyone can. And the feminine, right? Everything can be beautiful and perfect and so aligned. You can ask your masculine energy all of these things too, but maybe not with the joy and the flow. Maybe more of like, how can I hold more structure? How can I provide for myself more? How can I protect myself? Maybe it's an energy protection. Maybe it's like, you know, maybe it's about not going and seeing all the same people, or maybe it's allowing yourself to, not be in the places that don't serve you. All of these things get to be parts of how we serve ourselves in our masculine and our feminine energy. And both are so important. And we just get to be with, the shadow side of it, the shadow side of burnout. The shadow is, how we work. We're the good girl and we don't say anything and we're the perfectionist and we have everything perfect all the time. And all of these pieces get to be broken through the glass ceiling, right? We get to break through and we get to allow ourselves to be fully free because it starts in here, right now, in this moment, for you to be fully free inside yourself, you as a human. You want to create freedom out there, true freedom. I'm not talking about like just leaving a job. I'm talking about true freedom. Freedom in you. So no matter what happens in your life externally, you feel it inside you. You love yourself. You get to be with joy and happiness and wildness and chaotic and all of your emotions, and you are not feeling shame and guilt for them. You get to hold structure. You get to have a day where you plan it out. You get to be protected, provided for. You get to receive abundance every day in every way. This is all of the beautiful things that come when you allow yourself to be all of you. Be all of the masculine. Be all of the feminine. And truly honor that. And know that it's all perfect. And you are worthy being all of you. I really want you to hear that. You are valuable as a human and you are at peace. And I want you to feel that in your body, right? Peace, love, freedom, wild, crazy energy. Why do you think this is called unapologetically wild? I want you to realize the feminine has so many parts to her that gets to be honored, gets to be felt, gets to be released into the world. You get to be unapologetically wild. Absolutely. In whatever way that serves for you. You get to honor the masculine, the feminine, all of who you are. Every part of the feminine. Every single bit. Right? Because that's what's going to allow you to truly be free. And truly go after what you want. But it's all in here. It's all the internal world that needs to change that will change the external world around you. And you get to have it all. You get to be this wild, free, incredible woman who has passion and shares and feels confident and has the energy that she wants to have and goes after what she wants. You get to be that wild feminine woman. And I cannot wait to see how you express yourself in this world through that. I love you. I hope you have an incredible day, and I want you to be unapologetically wild. Go and find your feminine fire and your feminine flair, and I hope you have the most incredible day. Make sure you like, share, and comment below anything. I would love you. If you know any woman who would love to hear this and wants to honor her feminine power, absolutely share this with her, because the more we share, the more we allow women to open up and express themselves and be truly free in this life. I love you. Have a great day.